Thousands of police personnel have been deployed to enforce uniform curfew hours in Metro Manila. Let's now bring in Philippine National Police Spokesperson Brigadier General Ildebrandi Usana. Good morning, General. Thank you for joining us here on New Day.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Sir, how many individuals have been apprehended since Monday night when the 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew began?
Well, after 4 days, we have had a total of 12,600 violators caught by our police officers conducting checkpoints, conducting patrol operations to see to it that our people are compliant with the minimum health protocols. Out of this, about 35 to 40% were apprehended, meaning they were brought to the police station for some procedures required, but the rest actually were simply required to pay fines, depending, of course, on the local government ordinances, and the rest were actually simply warned.
So can you take us through, General, how exactly do police personnel conduct the apprehensions?
Well, of course, every now and then when there is already a pronouncement coming from the government, our people are presumed to have known what are the minimum requirements for them to comply with. One, of course, is they must wear the the face mask and the face shield, and they should not be in group close to each other. They should, of course, be considered as essential workers working in nighttime duties. And, of course, they have to show their IDs every time they are advised by police officers to show any of their identities. And of course, for those who are actually in passenger jeepneys or cars, they might as well be wearing face masks at least.
All right. And you mentioned penalties earlier, sir. What exactly are the penalties? And for violators, do they get a first warning or will they be fined on the spot? Or as you said, 35 to 40% of them brought to a police station?
Well, in most instances, they simply were being warned, but there are local government units which are so strict with regard to the compliance of their constituents to the minimum health protocols, and therefore they were readily fined, if not apprehended right away and brought to the police station. Some actually were required to simply do some exercises for their own good, maybe, and then they had to get back.
All right, sir. Now, of the people who are actually brought to a police station, what merits them being brought there?
Well, of course, basically, it is dependent on the local government ordinance. There are local government executives that impose right away apprehension, meaning they have to be arrested right away if they violate the minimum health protocols. In a number of occasions, maybe they may have violated other offenses, like, for example, under the influence of liquor. They were there during nighttime and they actually were supposed to be in their respective homes. So these are among the things as a result of the checkpoint apprehensions done by our police officers reflected in our records.
Pero sir, hindi ba po medyo nakakalito na for each city there's a different fine or different restrictions, or maybe the way they're enforced is different?
We'd rather give this to the local government executives. They are in the best position to understand their respective lot, and we have to simply enforce what actually are in the ordinances. And so far as the PNP is concerned, the fines will have to be based on what is rational, what is according to the usual way where the local government executives actually impose their respective sanctions over the constituents.
Right, so it's just your role really to enforce. General, tungkol naman sa mga probinsya na malapit sa Metro Manila who are also imposing a curfew, what is the current situation in these areas?
Well, again, some of the local government executives do impose their respective ordinances, and we give it to them. The PNP actually has localized its joint task force COVID shield, meaning every police officer will have to be responsible according to what the local government executives would like to tell them. And of course, in Metro Manila, we have already the coffee hours. Maybe in some provinces, they also have imposed theirs. And that will be dependent, of course, on the council resolution insofar as the minimum health protocols are concerned.
All right, so it's really up to us citizens to know what the protocols, restrictions, and fines are in the cities that we move in and out of, would you say?
That's right, ma'am. As you can see, there are adjustments now. Even the IATF is already reimposing what they have already issued in the past. And the PNP is just right there, enforcing what is being required of us by the higher ups.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, PNP Spokesperson Brigadier General Ildebrandi Usana.